days of old, the story goes, minstrels traveled on to bring the latest kingdom news through music and with song. Though times have changed, some things have not. Please do not think me bold. There are still many songs to be sung and infinite tales be told. Hey, this is Simeon, and I'm having so much fun discovering a brand new instrument for the HALion family, Tales, and specifically for HALion 7 and HALion Sonic 7. Such a beautiful instrument, and we're going to spend some time discovering the tales that Tales has to tell. So, so come along. Okay, so you can see that I'm looking at HALion 7, that's what we're going to be working with today. They also consolidated HALion Sonic and brought all the version numbers together so it's less confusing. So now we have HALion 7, we have HALion Sonic 7, which is the free player, and then the HALion Sonic 7 collection, which includes the library content. And Tales is one of the new instruments included in this new version of HALion 7. So you can see right away when we're looking at this that we have what's called the Mediabay, and this has been updated for HALion 7 family. And here you can see all of the libraries, all of the sound content that we have. You have a really wonderful way of filtering through categories. You can even do filter through text to find specific sounds and moods, properties. You have all kinds of different things that we can do. It's a very powerful tool to be able to organize such a huge amount of content. So let's go down, and you can see that we have Tales here. So I'm going to click on that, and that will pull up all the patches that are in Tales, and they're quite a bit. So what we'll do, let's go ahead and just load in the first patch, which is called an open tune guitar. And let's go ahead and close. We can close that. We can close the Mediabay, and then we can always get back to it by going to the preset menu here. And we have so many different options to do. They've given us so much flexibility here. So I'm going to close the Mediabay here. And while we talk about just this basic, beautiful sound, let's tell a little bit about Tales. Tales is a nylon guitar that was sampled in an open string format. That means that instead of using the fretboard to pitch the notes that were sampled, they were actually just played openly and then tuned to the different pitches. So the first string was tuned down as far as it could go and sound pretty decent. And it gives us this low C. And then it was tuned up. So every pitch is tuned up. So you're not getting the interference of the fretboard. That provides such a very beautiful and open sound. And this was done for all 6 strings. They were tuned up and down in pitch and then sampled. And it was so funny because the engineer doing the sampling, he would play the note and then have to hold his breath because just to allow that note to ring out. And let's just kind of play some more with this open guitar and just get a feel for the basic sound of this beautiful instrument. It's got such a unique sound to it. That's because the pitches, it's all open. It's just got such an open sound because you're not changing pitch with the fretboard. It's all in the tuning. So it almost is like uh, I guess for a keyboard player's perspective, it's like a piano that was strung with nylon strings. I guess that's kind of an interesting way to put it. And listen to that, just kind of rings out in the beautiful natural decay. So we have two mic positions. We have a close position here. It's very dynamic. And let's go ahead and go the other direction to the distant mic position. And we can go over here. Yeah. And then we can also blend between the two, the close and the far. And then we have the balance control, and this has to do with the textures, and which we have 66 textures that we can choose from, and we can see those. And then we have an effects section that has delays for the guitar and delays for the texture, and then a global reverb. So let's do this. Let's go into, oh, well, okay, before we do that, before we get into some more patches, let's just go into more detail with the guitar sound. So we've got 4 articulations, and we have been playing the soft articulation. So now we've got the hard. It's a little more aggressive, and we can also use key switches to go between the two, go between the 4 articulations. Muted. And then harmonics. Let's see. Yeah, that distance. It's really amazing. They did such a good job with this. And then I'll go back to the soft. We've got a color control. So it adjusts the brightness or the warmth. And then we can just throw some compression. And this actually works on the, it compresses the transients, yeah. And this is using a lot of the new technology that they've introduced, a lot of the new sound design in HALion 7, where we have some ways to do spectral synthesis and to take the waveforms and take the samples in totally new directions to have more control over the transients and the spectrum of the samples. And then this is the transient. Now this kind of shapes the attack portion of the samples using some of that new spectral. Now let's go to the hard, and we can appreciate that even more. It amplifies or softens those guitar transients. And this is using spectral. I'm just really enjoying the sound here. And then we have like a saturation control. Just to give it a little more non-linear type of sound. Just beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into a couple of the presets. And so clicking on the file name up here, the load program, it'll bring up the Mediabay. So let's just go to a couple of these. Let's go to Bard. And thinking about tales, it just reminds me of just sitting at the campfire or something and just sharing stories and telling tales using music. And so this is using the texture. Now let's look and see what the texture is doing. So the texture is using a waveguide. A waveguide texture. Wow. Let's see. And then the balance helps us to go between this is just the texture portion. And then we can blend with the guitar. So that texture is adding just a little extra something there. And then we can vary the texture. We've got just different variations going on with the textures here. Just makes it more alive. And if it's your first time here, you just got to know that the way things roll, because these are just not rehearsed. They're kind of, I just love to be in the moment. So when I hear a sound, there's a character in there. And it just sort of takes me where it wants to go. And that's kind of like, and that's where we went with that particular sound, the Bard. Become a Legend, and let's check that out. So the texture here, we've got some kind of pulsing polyphonic sound. Having the ability to layer these extra textures just bring a whole new dimension to these. That's just gorgeous. Each sound has a tale, a story to tell. And we've got a lot more patches to go through, but you can see how the sound just kind of carries you away. And then we've got the chord pads down here that just sort of give you some more ideas, some suggestions here. Let's see. I'm going to turn the master down a little bit. And that cool? And there are little Easter eggs that are hidden inside these chord pads. And you can pretty much you can come up with your own little songs, and you can assign those chord pads to key switches or to to keys on your keyboard. And it's just a fun way to experiment and get ideas. They've just done such a neat job with hiding a fun uh, Easter eggs in here. Bell tower. Let's see what the texture's doing here. Yeah, tubular bells. Now let's go back and adjust the balance between the textures so we can hear more of those tubular bells. It's gorgeous. Okay, let's keep going. And let's see, man, there are so many beautiful. Um, and then this is kind of cool too. With the Mediabay, we can actually see the authors. And this is Sebastian Breither, and he is the one that is on the team sampling and sampling these instruments. And Sebastian kind of hides these Easter eggs in the chord pads, which are really fun. And it's so wonderful to be able to see the individuals behind uh, the sounds. And that is something also that you can filter through. If you're doing a search for a particular author, patch author, you can do that, and you can just show sounds by your favorite patch designer here. Okay, SKYGAZER. Okay, yeah, because see, I went ahead and sorted uh, by author, and that changed the order here. But you can click on any of the columns and sort up or down, and by any of the properties here. Um, it's a very powerful way to find new sounds and organize your sounds. So I saw something that looked really interesting. SKYGAZER, and let's pull that up. And let's just take a look at the texture. Yeah, analog strings. We've got 66 textures, and the other thing is that you can use the textures by themselves and not have to use the guitar at all because of the balance. So let's just kind of play this. I just hit a note and off we go. That's why these are joyful journeys for me. Listen to that. Let's just play the texture. Listen to how fat that is. Let me go back. we've got a little control with the mod wheel to blend those together. I just really like this. Just a very different sound, very different sound. Okay, this is kind of cool having them kind of sorted by author because it kind of mixes things up. Let's go to Windwalker. We're just kind of journey through some of these. Ooh. So we got lots of delay going here. Delays in the texture and the delays in the guitar. Just the different texture. That's interesting, man. Yeah. It's very mysterious. And it just kind of keeps going. And that's using the hard articulation on the guitar. Yeah, here we go. Okay, Tundra. Let's take a listen to that. With the texture here, we've got ice sheet. It's kind of like, you know, some granular stuff, and you got all kinds of different textures. Just let it rest a little bit. We get this ping pong delay on the texture. And then, of course, we always have our quick controls here that kind of match up with some of the controls on the main interface: guitar distance, balance, the macro knobs here. Okay, and then we can assign those. You know, you can assign those to your MIDI controllers here. You can learn your MIDI CC, and you've got control where you can assign those, which gives you just a lot more expressive control. CLOUDSTOMPER, that looks interesting. And let's see, we've got the soft articulation and analog strings. Then we've got some delayed in the textures, lo-fi delay. And let's just take a listen. Oh, wow. Those analog synths and the low end and the dynamics are very beautiful. The tone, the quality of the and the mod wheel kind of helps blend in that texture a little bit more. That analog texture has a very interesting attack and color to it. And then, with the textures, we have control over the key ranges, as far as, how much that texture is going to be split over the whole keyboard or just a certain zone in the keyboard. And that really gives you some possibilities. Okay, trip to India. Now this is going to be interesting. And let's look at the texture. We've got the sitar resonances, and listen to what this does. Let's just listen and see. And let's just see what the sitar resonances are doing. It just gives that really cool drone effect. And then we bring back the attack of the guitar a little bit. And this is the hard. Really cool. Okay, flamenco sketches. Now, when I first started playing with this, it's like you do get the feel of this classical guitar, but also it's sort of kind of melds in my mind a lot of different styles. Like you've got the flamenco, and then you've got medieval things. It's just it has so much character to it. Here we go. I love the dynamics. Let's just check out what the chord pads are doing here, and I'm just going to trigger them. Yeah. Yeah. See, isn't that cool? Ole! So I'm still on flamenco sketches, and it's just amazing to me that you take a traditional instrument like a beautiful nylon classical guitar and you sample it in a non-traditional way, and it makes it something else, and it just kind of captures my imagination. And it causes me to play in a certain way. It's a nylon guitar, but at the same time, it's not a nylon guitar. It's not a keyboard, but yet I'm playing this on the keyboard. It's just, there's so many pieces of this. so many pieces of the puzzle of tales to put together. And I think that's what makes it so special. It can become so many different things depending on whose fingers it's under. It's going to be something different for you than it is for me. You're going to be able to bring out something new of your own personality. And I think that's what happens. These sounds tap into our personality and it draws fresh and beautiful things out of us. Yeah. And then I'm looking at this distance mic. Let's pull this back a little bit more. Now, when you have the distance up close, you get a little more of the body of the guitar. And the low. And again, the cool thing about it is that these are not necessarily, the pitches are not stretched because they went ahead and actually physically tuned these notes, each string, to get to these different pitches. Instead of using the fretboard, they physically tuned it. So you don't have the artifacts of all the pitch shifting and time stretching and all that. And it goes all the way up the keyboard. All 6 strings were done that way. Even getting to the very top notes. So you have from here to here, you just have beautiful recordings. And so let's go ahead and just explore a few more of these beautiful presets. So I'm just hitting this program and it brings up the media browser, the Mediabay. And let's see, Flying Sparks. And then we can see who did that. Yeah, this is another one of Sebastian's patches, Flying Sparks. Now let's see what, yeah, so we've got the close mic here, texture, carbon steel, and then we've got some delays. It's interesting that they've got delays for both the texture and the guitar, and then a global reverb here. So let's check this out. Again, totally different. Oh, let's see. There's a little black spot on the sun today. And the pouring rain. Just those attacks. Now let's see what articulation. Yeah, the harmonics. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. That attack is really cool. And then we're kind of boosting that transient here using the new resynthesis, the spectral. And of course the effects do it. I'm gonna turn off the guitar and let's listen to this texture. It almost sounds like a pedal steel or a or like a flat top type steel. And you've got a little simple envelope attack and release here. And then we've got the variations. You can just get lost in some of these sounds. And then there's just not a lot of effects, but effective effects for me. You just kind of capture the essence of what you need to change and to get more out of the... those harmonics. Wow, flying sparks. And so I'm going to give this a 5-star. So all you got to do is in the Mediabay browser, you go to the rating and just drag out those stars. That's definitely a 5-star patch. Wow. Okay, peaceful atmosphere. I love these because they just take the idea of the nylon guitar and then they just take it a little bit further. Texture here is a friendly support. Ooh, okay, so we'll isolate that. Let's go and play the entire patch, and then we'll kind of take a listen to what makes it up. Okay, what key are we going to land in this time? Peaceful atmosphere. Very beautiful ambient. Oh man. My goodness. Dynamic response is so good. That's beautiful. Now let's just mute the guitar and listen to what the texture's doing. Okay. Let's see. It sounds like a little Mannheim steamroller. But it gives some support, of course, that's what the name of the texture is. And then when you add the guitar, it just pulls it all together. It just pulls it all together. And there are so many more. And then you wind up putting 5 stars on everything. But yeah, because I mean, I've just really enjoyed getting to know more of these sounds. Um, let's see, Dreamscape, that's interesting. So we can look also in the properties. I'm going to stretch this out a little bit more. And then we can see it says, like Dreamscape, that's what we'll just take a look at next. Layered, rich, bright, wide, clean, ensemble. And so that's some attributes here. And you know, we can just go ahead and in these patches just get such descriptive categories and things that help us to make choices when we're looking for that particular type of sound. So the texture here is orchestral strings. Okay, cool. And let's see. Let's go ahead and play this here. So this is the soft guitar articulation. Like a nice string ensemble. And let's just listen to the chord pads because they evoke certain and you can play around with those progressions. That's really cool. Let's just do one more. I always say that, and we wind up doing a lot more than that. We did, let's see, we did Trip to India. Forest Meadow. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, let's see what it says about it. Layered, clicking, jingling, pristine, soft. Ooh, okay, let's try that. And the texture is soft harp. So we've got a harp layered with the soft guitar. Ooh, that'll be neat. And then the effects, no delays, a little bit of reverb, and really it's like a spring reverb, it looks like. Okay, let's check this out. Now let's just throw on some. Let's get into like a special. Let's go to the reverb and shimmering, and that instantly kind of livens it up a little bit more. Now the analog, we've got tape delays, ping pong, everlasting delay. love delays. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. So that's Tales from Steinberg. And it is also, let me show you this. It's also available as a standalone product, and it plays in the HALion Sonic 7 free player. And HALion Sonic 7 is the free player. And then HALion Sonic 7 Collection is includes all of the instruments. So you can purchase Tales if you don't have any other HALion libraries and be able to use it in the HALion Sonic 7 player, which is free. So, and the thing is, you have the same interface and features that you would have in HALion, in the full HALion. HALion Sonic is just a great way to have these patches, these sound sources available to us. Yeah, that's the mute articulation. And they both have adapted similar things like the Mediabay and all of that beautiful sound that is in Tales. And I want to thank Steinberg for allowing me to experience this this beautiful instrument, very expressive. It's very expressive. So I have one question for you. What stories are you going to tell?